Go.
It's a hot summer morning inside this Lehigh gym, and for Thurl Bailey,
Finish it.
there's no place he'd rather be. Today he's working with his sons Brendan and Bryson, coaching them on the game he loves.
Finish. Nice. It's everything, right? I mean, it's as a father, it's what you dream about, it's what you live for.
Brendan is playing professionally overseas. Bryson recently returned from a church mission and will play this season at Utah Tech.
Now, they both told me they could beat you one-on-one. Is this true?
Well, we're going to say it is, all right, because they've got an advantage in youth, in athleticism, but I can tell you that they may think they can beat me, but I got this. I need 3 in a row, 3 in a row.
Playing with my dad means everything to me. It's just an opportunity to not only learn more about basketball, but have a stronger relationship with my dad.
This opportunity that we have to get in the gym and get better and then work with my dad, who's played in the league and been where I want to be. It's a great feeling to have my little brother here as well, just working as a family.
3 in a row. 1. It's probably one of the most enjoyable parts of my life at this stage is watching my boys do what they love, which is what I love for a long time.
Thurl was born in Washington, D.C. A short time later, his parents moved to Prince George's County in Maryland, an area he said was riddled with crime.
Yeah, it was a tough upbringing. I was fortunate, though. I had parents that, were both present, which for a lot of my friends and a lot of kids, they didn't have one parent or the other, or sometimes the village had to raise them, an aunt or uncle or grandma. So I was really fortunate that way.
Thurl's parents insisted on a good education and taught him his love of music.
Kathy, I used to wake up, my alarm clock as a kid was music playing in the living room. I would get up and I knew what to expect when I walked into the living room. My mom and dad would be dancing to Nat King Cole, Sinatra, Sam Cooke. But yeah, music was always number one in my life. And I think it always has been.
Basketball was number 2, but he didn't start playing the game until his early teens.
I was about 12, 13 years old. I was 6'5". And I saw a guy with a huge afro make a sweet move, and I asked my dad who he was. He said, "Son, that's Dr. J." So Dr. J was the guy that really kind of lit this fire in me. And 2-3 days later, I asked my dad if he could teach me how to play, because I wanted to be Dr. J.
So do you have similar memories of playing shooting ball with your dad like you did this morning?
I do, because when he brought me outside, he was so excited to teach me how to play. And he had a garbage can about that big around, and he took a saw and he cut it that far across and that deep, and one of those huge nails, and he nailed it up against the house. And that was my first hoop.
From that first hoop, Thurl eventually made it to North Carolina State. He was recruited by coach Norm Sloan, who left after Thurl's freshman season.
So they hired this cocky guy from New York that we didn't know. I was going home. Called my mom. I said, "Mom, Coach Sloan left. They're hiring some new guy we don't know. I'm coming home." My mom said, "Son, you may be going somewhere, but you definitely ain't coming here." She said, "Look, you went there to get an education. That's what you're gonna do."
So Thurl stayed put and became part of a national championship his senior year. He also scored a lifetime of memories with his former coach.
Valvano was one of the most amazing human beings to ever enter my life. And so that's the no-quit attitude that got us to the championship that I'm trying to instill in all of my kids.
Someone said, "Oh, we should look at this kid."
In 1983, the Utah Jazz looked and took Thurl with the 7th overall pick. Frank Layden said Coach Valvano had high praise for his former player.
So I called Jimmy and I asked him, and he said, "Frank, he's going to even be better." He said, "People said we shouldn't take him. He can't play at this level, the top level of college basketball." He said he came here and he was better than we thought. He said, "But he's a great team guy. You'll love him," he said, "the way he plays." He said he'll be playing when guys that were in the championship game will be out of basketball. And that came to be the truth.
7th pick in the first round, Utah Jazz. It was just so surreal to me. The Jazz were looking for a really good basketball player, but they wanted someone hopefully with character, someone who would represent maybe a different community than most other teams.
Thurl played 8 seasons with the Jazz before being traded to Minnesota, where he played 3 more. He then played 4 years overseas, where his life changed forever. He was baptized a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
I always knew there was more. I felt that there was more. And so I had to make that self-discovery on my own, regardless of who my influences were. I had to get on my knees. I had to search within myself, ask the right questions, and feel good about my journey. And so I ended up being baptized over in Italy, of all places. And so there were a lot of people involved in helping me get to that point. But the most important person was my Lord and Savior.
In 1999, Thurl returned to play one last season with the Jazz, and he's been here ever since.
I'm 63 years old, and their kids and grandkids never saw me play, but they know who I am. They know what I've done. They know what I've accomplished. I still have time for them. So those are the things that I cherish the most about my career as a basketball player and just as someone who's been out in the community for years now.
For the past 25 years, Thurl has been part of the Jazz broadcast team. He's a 3-time Emmy Award winner as the team's color analyst alongside Craig Bolerjack.
And we know about JC. He can ready, aim, flame at any time.
He's a natural personality that doesn't need the accolades. I mean, he's a person of the people. I watch him interact with Jazz Nation, and the seas kind of part when he walks. I mean, it's good to be a 7-footer, but he has a lot of respect.
Thurl rarely has time off these days. He's a motivational speaker and influencer for many different projects. He's still involved with his first love, music, and has recorded 5 albums. Most of all, family is paramount, with his wife Cindy and their 3 children.
I'm not a perfect dad. I have 2 sons from a previous marriage that I try to stay close to. One has 2 of my grandkids. So I try to do the best that I can. I'm not perfect, but I want to be present.
And it's even better when it's in the gym shooting hoops with his boys.
That's what I'm living for. I'm 63 years old. You know, who knows? I may make it to I'm 83. May not, but I'm in a good place, Kathy. I'm in a good place right now.
For Beyond the Game, I'm Kathy Aiken for KSL.com.